February 16th, I guess, when he committed, but to have it be official today and lock him in, how's the feeling like right now?
It's a pretty special day because of this young man and what I see in him. I think he's a really, really special kid, and it starts with the person that he is. He's got a humility about him that he chose this program, and he could go anywhere, and he chose this program because he knows this will be one that develops him. And so he's coming in with a humility of, he knows what's in front of him as far as the work that it entails to be a great player, and he wants to do it. And he loves the game. He likes to win. He wants, he cares about all the right things. And that's why I see something special in him. And so he's got that unique ability of a mixture of size and skill, which puts him in a category that's really special and like I said, unique. But it's so much about where he can be when he gets in this program, and through his hard work and through his hours and hours spent in the gym and through our development plan. That's going to be that's going to change everything for him, and that's why he chose to come here. And that's why I have so much respect for the kid. Is there's a maturity to him and a humbleness to him and a work ethic that I love, and that you match that with his abilities that he's been given, and like I said, the sky's the limit.
Where do you envision him? What do you position-wise, or what do you envision?
Yeah, that's. But he's a 6'10" guard, so where that puts him, in the scheme of things. But we've always played with kind of four guards and somewhat positionless and somewhat, so it's just a matter of, I think the strength of our program is we adjust to each guy individually to let them play to their strengths. And so what I think we'll see with Sada is his strength will change the longer he's here, and the more he develops. And so we'll continue to grow and adjust with him. And so the person that we're getting in June when he comes here is going to be a lot different than the person that leaves here, and that's exciting for us, and I think exciting for him and his family.
I think a lot of people see Kansas, Kentucky, UCLA, all the offers he had, fans and the rankings and all that. You expect him to come in and be the Mountain West Player of the Year next year. Right. I mean, what should the expectations be for him? Do you see him making an immediate impact next year? And how do you try to temper maybe fans' excitement? I guess
it's hard to tell. And like you look at Tyson. I had high expectations for him. I had high hopes for him. He didn't know how quickly he'd get to that. I mean, he came in and became that person that we thought he could be right away, and was freshman of the year. And so it's hard, until they get here and you get to work with them day to day, and they get to play against competition at this level, which is different. And then it's hard, you can't even begin to guess.
How do you, when it comes to a guy like Sada, obviously he's had injury histories in the past, so how do you kind of evaluate that? When I talked to him, I mean, he said that maybe started the season a little slow, but starting to feel really good again.
Yeah, it's, what he had was a ACL, and that takes a while to come back, and that's our priority is building him for the long term. So that's the most important thing. So for when we look at the plans for the future, it's that's where it all starts, is the health and the the explosiveness that we got to get back for him, and all those things where he can stand up to the rigors of a college season and be able to do it night in, night out.
You were joking, or he was joking around that he was a soccer player growing up, and that his dad said once he got a certain height, he's like, I don't see very many 6'9" soccer players out there, so kind of encourage him to pick up basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that he's had an injury history and whatnot, but like how far is he from his potential of what he could be? Is there still a level of rawness to his game, I guess?
Yeah, and that's the thing that that you can never tell. Like I said, like Tyson's a great example. I mean, I knew where he could start to go. You just don't know how quickly he can get there, and you just never know. Each individual's different, and so that's how we handle our player development. It's personalized for each guy, and it will be for Sada. But it gets you excited because, like I said, all those things I mentioned about him, his humbleness, his work ethic, his understanding of the long term of where we want to go with this, with him and with our program, and he buys into all that, which is, at that age, it's really it's a huge sign of intelligence that he sees where it can go, not just the short term of, hey, I signed at so-and-so school. He's not into that. He's into the long-term development and where this game can take him. And like I said in the release, the sky's the limit with a kid like him.
What do you think impressed him the most in committing here and saying that this is the right fit for me?
I think there's a lot of things, the family atmosphere that we really have here, and the development that we've done, and the proof is in the pudding with the development that we've done on a consistent basis with a lot of different guys, and I think they really dug into that and saw that, and they know that we're gonna be committed to that, and that's a daily endeavor here, is the development of all our guys in everything. And I think he and his family saw that and looked into that pretty carefully, and I think it's one of those deals where people that know him, when he says he's going to Boise, they were like, that's a smart move, because you'll come out of there a great player, and I know that's where we're going to get some.
Can we ask non-Sada questions?
Well, it depends what they are.
Marcus Shaver, we saw him put his name in the portal or in the draft.
Yeah,
pool.
all that stuff is a work in progress. I feel great about where we're going with this thing. We got a lot of moving parts, and when talking to other coaches throughout the country, it's just a new era. The moment the season ends, it's your roster management and it's portal management, and it's just the whole landscape of college basketball has changed so dramatically in the last couple of years. And if our old mentors could see the new basketball world up close and personal, they'd be like, wow, this is so different than the way it used to be. And we've adjusted to that, and we're managing that, and it's going great. So I feel awesome about where we're going to be. There's no announcements to any of it right now, but because things are in flux with everybody really, and so that's new.
When you look at it, I mean, you have a guy like Mladen who's 24.
Yeah.
E-Man's 23. He would be 24 at the NCAA tournament next year. How much different is it for those guys? I mean, we all thought that these guys, everybody's going to take advantage of this and come back, but being 24 in college.
And that's what I told these guys about a month ago in the season. I said, hey, I'm not gonna be here to talk a 24-year-old into coming back for your 6th year of college. If it's best for you, then great. And if it's best to go the other way, then great. But I'm going to give them the pros and cons and what we can do and how we can, just because you're 24 doesn't mean we can't make you better. And that's what we're about. And so we weigh out the pros and cons. I'm here to help them. I'm in their corner the rest of their life. And that's what I want them to understand, is that this is not like me holding on to their shorts and say, don't leave, I'm going to find what's best for them and try to help them with their best decision, so they don't make a short-term decision of, I think I look around this group and there's probably, you were 7 years in college and you were 6.5, but you guys were asked to leave. So it's different. But, when kids start this journey, they don't really have this vision of them playing 5 or 6 years in college. That's a long, long journey. And so I think in their mind, they had already, had this mapped out. So they have to readjust where they are without looking at the short term, try to make the long-term decisions that would be best for them. And that's what our staff is here to help them with.
So do you know, I know you're not going to say, but when you're trying to go out there and know how many scholarships you have and the portal and all that, are you, with Mladen and Marcus, those two, do you feel pretty like you have an idea which way those are going?
Yeah, I do feel like I have ideas, but one of our maxims is live in truth. So I don't want to be out recruiting someone with the idea of I'm promising you this because this guy's leaving, all that becomes really, really complicated. And, but we just trying to take it a day at a time and help these guys as much as we can help them. And staff's doing a great job with that. And our guys believe that and know that. So, it'll be great for for everybody.
So I guess June 2nd is actually the date that like someone like Marcus would have to make a final decision, right? One way or the other. I mean, does that hurt though if you're not sure you can recruit, if you do have a spot or not for a Mladen or?
Yeah, but again, we're just taking that day at a time and figuring it out as we go, and I think we have a good feel of where these guys are and where it's going.
When it comes to the transfer portal, is there, I mean, it's all learning right now, but is there a way to kind of prorate the value that's in there? I mean, you look at if you want a shooting guard, for example, it seems like you could probably go in and get one.
Mm-hmm.
But like an example of a guy like Mladen who is 6'10" and will rebound like his life depends on it. Like, is it harder to get something like that out of the portal?
Yeah, and it's really hard to evaluate because it's really hard to evaluate. Like, how do you know if you put RJ Keene at a different school at a lower level, how do you know he's not averaging 15? So you're comparing all these different apples to oranges, and you're doing it in such a short period of time that even by watching film and getting to know guys, you try to do all that, but there's just so many unknowns in the portal that it can be a real challenge, and that's why a lot of mistakes are going to be made both by the student athletes and the schools, because there's such a short window of getting to know each other and really figuring out what that individual needs and what that school needs. And we've been fortunate in the guys that we've been able to get in the portal, but it seemed to have a longer process at that time when we did it with all those guys that played last year, because it all worked out great for those guys.
When you look at a guy like 12, when he started here, he was a walk-on, and he went out and earned a scholarship, but I think that he's clearly proven he's a scholarship player.
Mm-hmm.
But is that somewhere, if you get tight on numbers, that might be something you can go one way or the other?
Well, I don't think he'd like to hear that.
and I agree. I just want. I mean,
Yeah.
because there was one point in time where you were getting a scholarship player for almost not
yeah.
free for you, but free.
Right. Yeah. No doubt. For our program, it was a big plus. It helped us for 2 years because basically it gave us an extra scholarship for a guy that ended up being a rotation player and a very important part of the team. So yeah, that was a value, no doubt. But again, there's so much. There's so many moving parts and so much in flux that those conversations. But yeah, it's like a salary cap now. You're just trying to figure all that out and manage that. And so it's an interesting time, and it's a new challenge, and we're navigating it, and I think our staff's doing a great job of navigating it, and so are our players.
Max is not saying you're not worthy of scholarship.
Look, I think the word you used
He's
was,
not gonna like
you
that.
said awesome in terms of how you feel about this program. Some fans, maybe they say E-Man put his name in the portal, or they see someone, they're not sure they're coming back, or they, and then they see all these recruits that list the 20 schools they're talking to, and maybe you guys aren't listed on it. I know you guys are working behind the scenes, but what would be the message to fans, I guess, about building off this momentum and how you do feel about moving forward with the program?
History is the best indicator of the future, not Twitter.
Yep.
That's a pretty good quote right there, Jay. I think. What do you think?
Yeah.
You guys can tweet that.
But in general,
ironically, that would be a good tweet.
if you could just build, I guess, off the awesome comment in general about the direction of the program.
Good. Yeah. What?
Just building off the awesome comment, just in general, the direction of the program.
What we signed today is pretty special, and the thing that we're not just out, shooting a shotgun in the air and hoping it lands on we got to get this guy because he's coming from a specific program. That doesn't mean he's the right character or the right work ethic or the right team guy, because you look at what we did this year, it was our chemistry and it was our team. It wasn't, we weren't the collection of I mean, if you want to look at it that way, we didn't have one first team all-league guy supposedly. Now, I'll argue that, but it was the chemistry and the character and the work ethic and all those things that made the difference. And that's why we're very careful of who we take in this program. And then again, back to Sada, that's why I'm so excited about him. This is a perfect guy for our program, and that's what we're going to protect, is the unity of this team and the long-term plan of this program, and that's our daily battle. And it's not just, hey, let's grab the 13 most talented guys we can get, because that's not going to work. There's a lot of examples of that not working last year for a lot of teams, and I think we were the example of the other way, where the value of chemistry, the value of the hard work, the value of the blue-collar guys, the value of the guys that bleed blue, and that's what we're getting here.